Alright, everybody. Hello. This is Jacob. Um, I did my little research project on CSS Selectors. Now, I personally am not very good at CSS in general. Um, so I thought that this would be a great opportunity for me to go ahead and learn some more about CSS, get in there and find out what actually helps CSS run, or the CSS selectors used to make the web page do what I want it to do. Now, obviously, CSS selectors, that's just the main portion. This right here would be a CSS selector. Body, HTML, H1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you can also go within, like, see how this paragraph is inside of a div. I actually made it kind of, I don't know if you would consider it funny, but to me it's kind of entertaining. Because I made paragraphs inside of a div. I made a paragraph with a class. I made a paragraph with an ID. I made just a regular basic paragraph. I did an unordered list with some list items, and I did an ordered list with some list items. I did an article. I did a button, an href button. As you can see, I classed it as button as well. And I did a footer. Now, some of these things I did some stuff with, like, for example, text line left, width 960 pixels. I made my entire page, which everything that you write within the HTML tags of the index page is going to be everything. So I made the entire page, no matter what, is going to be 960 pixels, and it's going to be centered, centered left and right, and the top is going to have 0 pixel margin. The top and bottom. Sorry, this is top and bottom. This is left and right. Because you have 2 instead of. You could do 4 as well, because this would be the same thing. But that's what it is right there. And then I just wanted to play with this one real quick, just the body one, max width 800 pixels, because I wanted to see if it would change. I'll show that in just a second. But I wanted to show also with different selectors, you can use different kind of, depending on how smart your IDE is, you can, write things different ways. Like, for instance, color. I made the text of this color. Now, whenever you just put color in here, it's just meaning the text color. You have to designate whether you want the background color to be whatever or not. But you can write it, the color, the hex code, or the RGB code. But those are instances within the selector. These are still the selectors, the H3, H4, H5. But the parts that I didn't know when I really got into it and looked at it is I can designate something within something, like the paragraph inside of the div, or the section inside of the div. All right, you can also do multiple. I don't know if I have. I didn't put a duplicate one in here, but like, just to do a multiple, you can, it's section. You would do a comma, and then the second thing that you also want to do, right? So this is fine, actually. And then you would save. Now, I've already got this out over here. Now, obviously, with a lot of these things, I just did something to make it be different for each one. So, like, this one's a H1 header 1. I made the color blue. This one, the color is green. This one, the color is magenta. Text line right, that means I made it be on the right border. Here, I'll let you see. So I did, let me go ahead and There. Now, header 1, header 2, header 3, text line right. This one's got a text shadow. This one, I made the line height bigger, but it's a H6, so you're not really going to see it. This one is my first paragraph one, or my first paragraph CSS. And my first paragraph CSS literally just has a background color of being pink, right? So that's what this is. Now, my paragraph with a class, I made, let me go back to my HTML real quick. My paragraph with a class is class para1, and if you know your classes are going to be periods, IDs are going to be hashtags or pound signs. Alright, so I did the class period or with a hover effect. Now this is called a pseudo class. Okay, it's called a hover effect. Whenever you go over it, it's going to change it to yellow or whatever color you put in here. So like if I go here and I hover over the line, it changes it to yellow. Alright, now this one has a couple, this area right here has a couple of different things going on. Number one, obviously it's a paragraph. It still has the pink background. Number two, its max width has been changed to 50 pixels. And then if you look real close, it doesn't look like the word is finished. This is a paragraph. It's missing the end of the P and the H with an ID. So because this, I have this on here, overflow hidden, I could just remove that and save, and then refresh, and now you see the rest of the page, or the rest of the word. Now this is a paragraph inside of a div. I had to rename. See, this is where classes or CSS selectors within your CSS page matter, because you're going to have to learn how to undo things that you have done. Like this is a paragraph link, right? But all paragraphs are supposed to have this pink background to them. So I made the paragraph inside of a div. The font size is 25 pixels and the background color is white because I didn't want it to have a pink background. And because this is a paragraph inside of a div as well, it applied to that as well. The div section, max width is 800 pixels. Background color is green and the text color is blue. That's this one. Now because if you look down a little bit farther, section, this one right here, article and section, because I made them both in here, text align right, it made the text be on the right hand side. Now this section right here, I made a background color be black and the text be white, and I made the max width see where is it? 200 pixels. 200 pixels right there. Okay. Next we have some line items. Now, your line items, I'll get to all that in a minute. Line items, you have your unlisted, and then you have your unordered list line item, or list item, and then you have your ordered list item. There is a dot, like a bullet or a square or something out there to the right of these. And if you don't want that to show up, you just put none, and there you go. Alright, and then the ordered list items, display inline block. That means that the text is going to line up. Alright, and then I affected my list items, which this is going to only affect the unordered list item. I made it be center. Now I know that there's a way to do it, I just couldn't find it, to make a ordered list item go center as well, but we'll just go on from there. Okay, and this is another section that's just line to the right, or an article. Sorry, that one, this is an article. See? See? This is an article. Now here's that button that you saw over here. Now, this is where I have a couple of different things going. Now this is just the class button, right? It's got a bunch of different things going on. It's got a gradient going on for Mozilla, for Chrome, for Opera, from Microsoft, I believe. I don't remember what all of those are, but I just know that they all work. I don't need half of this in here because I'm just using it on Chrome. But it's got a border on it. It's got a background color, a border top. It's got a different font size. The color of the text is white. The text decoration is not in the font family. It gives you different abilities. Like for this one, for example, it's going to start out Lucinda Grande. If it doesn't have it, it's going to go to Helvetica. If it doesn't have that, then Arial. Then it's going to go to any sans serif text. So that's how you write them out. You always want to use the one that you want to use first, and then you go down the list, and then the very last one is the catch-all. Vertical line is the middle, which means it's going to be in the middle of the button. The button class also has a pseudo class, which is called hover, same as you saw up here with the paragraph class. Alright, which gave it a top color, a background color, and a text color. And then active, which is another fun one. Active is whenever you click on it. Changes the border color and the background color. Makes the actual button change color. And just to show you, like, hover over it, so you see how it is magenta and then orange or yellow and the text is white. Changes it to green and then pink text, and then if you click on it, changes it to a bright green. So that's how you can do that, different ways if you want to. If anybody wants the link, I have a button generator that I can give you that actually helps me out with all of this. That's how I learned a lot of how to do paddings and just a lot of different stuff, borders and background colors and that kind of stuff. I just want to, if you want it, just let me know. Send me a message. Last but not least is my footer. Now as you can see, my footer, it's blocked on both sides, which means it's been set to justify. And I gave it a little padding on top. Alright, so the main parts in here, the selectors, the footer class of button with a pseudo class of active, hover, and then just a regular. You can select multiple selectors. You can have article, you can have article, comma, section, comma, paragraph, comma, list item, comma, whatever you wanted to put in there. Whatever you want to affect with that set of CSS. You can go inside any section that is inside a div, or paragraph that is inside of a div, or article inside of, whatever else you want to name it. If you can put, you know, you can put inside of a paragraph, you can go article inside of a paragraph, you can go section inside of an article inside of a paragraph. So you just have to make it be your own. That's what you would put there if you wanted to go be that specific, you know. And there you go. I hope this helped y'all out some. It certainly did teach me a lot. I saved a couple of websites from the research so I can learn about it more in depth and look it over a little bit better. So I've placed all of my sources in the source list that I gave in the actual research document. So go ahead and take a look at that. And like I said, if you have any questions or anything like that, from what I've learned, it's pretty helpful. So, alright, well, thank you all. Y'all have a great night. Bye.